So just a follow-up and final video on the preparation of acorns for consumption. And to be quite frank, I'm really disappointed. Now, the whole processing of leaching out the tannins, which are the toxins from the acorns, which give the acorn its bitter taste, is exceedingly laborious, and I continuously boiled these acorns best part of 2 hours with the leaching process, and you get, you know, coffee coloured, you know, tannins emitting, and then you have to pour that away and pour fresh boiling water in, continue the boiling process till it comes out. And what is said by people who know something about this is that, and I think we know this in any case, being mature people, knowing a little bit about cooking, the more we cook stuff, the more we destroy the nutrient content and the vitamins, and so that is very, very true with these. Now, apparently, I don't know whether this is whether they are fresh or whether they have been leached, you know, for you know, numerous times, but apparently the goodness me, the protein content is very small, 5 or 10%, and so they are 95% starch, and because they've been leached for so long, then hardly any nutritional value. Can't think what that's all about. So the nutritional value has been leached out of them, and so, well, just like flour then, really, just carbohydrate, and so they say that this is 90% starch, and nobody advises anybody to eat starch, do they? You know, like bread and potatoes, that sort of stodgy, non-nutritious food. But when they speak about what you can make with this, they basically say, well, look, you can grind them up into smaller bits, and you can make some sort of you know, cake or biscuits and this and the other. But the thing is, they are now very, very soft and squidgy, and when you take them straight out of the boiling water, you can in actual fact mash them up into a pulp. And you know, people who cook these recommend that that's one of the processes if you want to make pancakes or flatbreads and this and the other, and you mix some regular flour to give it a bonding and what have you. But I've tasted one of these, and there is no taste at all, which is of course very disappointing, because as fresh nuts, they taste kind of almondy. They have a nice consistency to them. You know, when they are, let's say, when they have been shelled, when they've been dried and the nut is still alive, it potentially could still sprout. That's when I recommend that you eat them, only not in large amounts. You wouldn't want to eat them in large amounts, but if you're out foraging that time of year, then grab 2 or 3, and you can comfortably eat them like that. Because the thing is about these nuts, you eat them and you go, kind of like the texture's nice, the crunchiness is nice, the nuttiness is nice, the almondy sort of essence is nice, but the bitterness is kind of like, you know, it's not like, you know, I'll never touch that shit again. I mean, because, you know, we have a similar sort of thing with lemons, citrus fruits, don't we? If you know, a lemon and lime, you know, all this stuff, but you know, they're kind of Moorish, and you got to go back for more punishment. And so that's what fresh acorns are like for me. And I'm glad that I've done some research into them, and now I know that they are forageable food, but not anything that you're going to substantiate your diet with. I'm now aborting what I was going to do. I was going to be making some biscuits with these, but there's no point in actual fact, because they don't taste of anything. In actual fact, the consistency is really floury and powdery and horrible. And there's a dryness to them as well. The astringency's gone, but in actual fact, I would say that the astringency is still partially there. And it's kind of like when this stuff is on your tongue, it sucks all of the moisture out of your tongue and out of your mouth. And that's not a pleasant affair. Like this, I couldn't see any benefit eating them. But when you eat a live acorn, of course they're moist, they're crunchy, they're everything that you would expect from wholesome food, and the taste is kind of like, you know, like I say, is bittersweet sort of thing, but interesting and intriguing, whereas there's none of those qualities within this. It's horrible. And I went out and I fed them to the animals. The jackdaws will eat acorns, and they'll come down for these. I don't know how they got along with them, and I saw other squirrels take them and run away with them, but I gave Providence one, and she sat on the bench with me while she was eating it. Then I heard her retching, a little cute little squeak. And I looked around and she was frozen and her eyes were big and and her mouth was open like that, and I could see her heaving. She dropped that nut. And then she came back to look for more, and I only had 2 more pieces of this in my hands. She's like, fuck that shit. And so I'm like, you're not a bad judge, girl. I'll tell you that. You're not a bad judge. If you ever want to know if anything is edible for yourself, you'll see if some squirrels eat it first. For those of you that are new, Providence is my little friend squirrel, who I am her surrogate father, who I found her in the wilderness. And well, she found me. She came up to me crying in the woods, and I put my hand down to see what she'd do, if she'd have a sniff or what. She crawled up my arm, she took herself under my hair, she was purring and, you know, all this sort of stuff in my beard and everything, and she made herself at home. And so she's been with me ever since, only she lives in the tree now. I built her houses, you'll see the videos. She lived in the houses, she's had kittens in the houses, and now she's moved them up into the tree, into her dray, which she refurbished. She never built it herself because it was already there. There were 2 squirrels living in it last year, but they vacated, and so she checked it out. She thought it'd be cool. She refurbished it over a couple of weeks. I watched her do that, and then she took her young ones. She got 3 babies, 3 kittens, and they're still around, and one of them was feeding from the feeding station today, but very shy. Anyway, I'm digressing. This is why I can never really succinctly label my videos, because I speak about too many things. These I don't even think I have a good conscience about throwing these out for the other animals in view of Providence's reaction. So yeah, 100% disappointed, to be fair, people. All this speak about acorns are edible. Well, you know, if they're edible, with very little minerals and nutrients, and little more benefit than flour, well, do your baking with flour, make your biscuits with flour, almonds and walnuts and all the rest of it. I think it's kind of like a geeky thing, you know, from what I've gathered. Now, the guy that I read about these acorns is in that book, the nature book I showed you in the last video. And he said, my life hasn't been the same since I started eating acorns. And I'm like, what the fuck? You think this shit's palatable? It's bordering vile. It's absolutely a nothingness experience, bordering on vile. And so I can't think why anybody would want to go to such labour. It's a massive amount of labour. You know, finding the acorns in copious amounts and gathering them on numerous occasions, waiting for them to fall. And then, you know, watching them decay and, you know, breaking them open, seeing the large percentage which have weevils and all the rest of it. You know, if people have got absolutely nothing better to do, and if you're starving, okay. But other than that, people, I would say, don't waste your time. The most pleasurable experience is gathering them, watching them dry, experience the weevils digging out, and you know, that sort of thing, and you know, eating the odd half now and again. I'm thinking, that's weird shit, but at least now I know. So these are going in the bin, and I'll never forget the first time I've seen Providence wretch. And I think even she was shocked by it herself. She froze and was like, what the fuck was that? Oh, anyway guys, there you have it. I won't be trying that again.